Alright, so we're going to go over how to properly disassemble, assemble, and set up the PL500. And of course, a lot of this applies to a lot of our guns anyways. So the first thing I want to talk about is when you're setting this up to operate. So if you go counterclockwise on the stroke adjust, that lifts it up away from everything else. And if you go clockwise down, that brings it all the way in contact with the back of your armature. So usually when you're setting up this to fire, the proper setup is going to be all the way closed, and then you're going to go up to a quarter to a half a turn. So all the way closed, quarter turn, all the way closed, quarter turn, up to a half a turn. That's your operational range. You should never have to go outside that. Quarter turn to half a turn is your operational range. So you go quarter turn and then a half a turn. In between those two is your operational range. If you go outside that, something's wrong. So I just wanted to point that out. So when you're going to disassemble this gun, first thing you always want to do is back the stroke all the way up and then bring it back forward a couple clicks. That just prevents it from binding. So you go ahead and take it off. Once you got that off, now you can remove the nozzle. Okay, so there we go. We got our nozzle and our armatures out. So you do this if you're changing something out or just cleaning it or whatever. So the procedure to put it back together is also important. You want to put your armature back in and put your nozzle on first. This is highly important that you don't go out of these steps wrong. So once you get your nozzle down, you snug it. Once that's snug, you can go and put your stroke back in, making sure nobody's touched this and didn't close this on you. So before you put it in, make sure it's still backed all the way off, and then you can put it in. Counterclockwise is all the way open, clockwise is closed. So you tighten it down, and now you can go ahead and close it till it closes, and then bring it to a quarter turn or half a turn or in between, wherever you usually set it at. That's your fine tuning adjustment there. So that would be a proper disassembly and assembly. Now the other thing I want to point out is if you're going to flush it, if you're going to flush it and you're not going to remove the stroke, then you at least want to back it off and then bring it back a couple clicks, and then you can go ahead and take off your nozzle, pull your armature, and flush it. And then when you're done, put it back, and then you close it back down, back to operational range. And that's it.